So here's our snowman from the first video, and we've still got some lines and things here left from the getting everything kind of laid out here. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a kneaded eraser and kind of clean up a little bit of the line work here. And try not to erase any of the things that I actually want to keep. Right, so I'm just going through and just cleaning up a little bit, kind of getting the worst away. Now with a kneaded eraser, I'm still going to have some areas I can still see some of the lines kind of coming through, but that'll kind of go away as we work with the snowman a little bit more. All right, so just going through and cleaning up. All right, so we'll call that bit kind of done for now. That's the more obvious type of stuff. Oh. All right. So here is my snowman minus some of the extra. So what I'm going to do now is, okay, how do we make this guy look like something? And we need to kind of put him into some type of environment. All right, so to go about doing that, we need to add a few elements here. So one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just add maybe a couple of leaves kind of coming down. Like maybe we're kind of under a tree or something as we're doing this. Maybe there's another leaf here. That kind of gives us something hanging off kind of in our foreground area here. Kind of help things out. Then over here, maybe we show that, the snowman was built using a beach pail that has now been conscripted into working with snow instead of sand. Okay, so we can show this kind of beach pail here, and then maybe behind the beach pail we can show there's a shovel or something that was helped to shovel up the snow. And again, all of these I'm just keeping the shapes just simple, trying not to add too much at the moment. Just think about how some of these elements look. Now, our snowman is sitting here. We've got maybe some stuff with a tree. We've got a pail, maybe a shovel. And now I'm going to go ahead and put in some elements around the snowman to make it look like he's kind of sitting in this environment. So let's say this is a more rural snowman. And so back here in the back, I'm going to go ahead and put in some post just to kind of help frame the snowman a little bit. Okay, and the post, like everything else, they got snow kind of around them. And then I'm going to put some rails in that kind of go behind our snowman. And your railings and things like this tend to come in threes. And so just like that, I have our snowman now sitting in a little environment here. Right. And then if we wanted to, we could come then on top of the fencing and actually show the snow kind of piled up along the fencing. And I'm just making kind of little waves here. And the same thing for the top of the fence. These caps would have some snow kind of built up on them. All right. So there's our snow on our fencing. So I'll go ahead and darken up the post. All right. Now, can actually maybe show the start of a, maybe there was another little snowball or something right here that was kind of started and not finished. All right. And then, so we got the shovel, we got some fencing now. As far as what's going on back behind our snowman, we could choose to leave it like this. We could come in and maybe some of the snow clouds are starting to clear off. And we just show some of the snow clouds and things like that. Kind of moving along in the background. All right. So we've got our snowman, we've got some clouds in the sky. And then if it's a cool winter day, we could actually come in and maybe put in a little bit of motion for wind coming through. And that might satisfy a little snowman picture. All right, as far as getting it to a point where we could consider this a stopping point. Now, this is the pencil portion. And so, in order to continue cleaning this up and kind of making it jump out, I would then go through and start adding in some pen and ink work. And so this is just going to kind of clean up the snowman a little bit. I've got a couple of different size pens, a 0.7, a rollerball pen, and then I've got a couple of brush pens here that could help do some of the pen work. Right. So I'm going to start off and just go over the snowman first, since this is our main character and main interest here. Right, and sort of go ahead and get his line work kind of set into place. And again, I'm just going over all of the previous lines. This has been a little while since I've used the brush pen, so I've got to kind of get back into the feel of things here. All right, so I've got the snowman mostly outlined. We'll come through and get the top hat kind of inked in. All right. So there's that. Now the brim of the top hat. We go ahead and put a little shading in here, so it shows that this is in a little bit of shadow. So put some hatching in. Now I need to go through with the eyes and get those done. And so you'll see the character of the drawing kind of changes a little bit when you start putting ink on it. All right. All right, so there's the snowman. Now I can do the same thing with the band that was on the hat here. And just come through and use some cross hatching just to indicate that maybe it's a different color. All right, then go ahead and come in and get the arms done. All right, so there's that part. And now I'm moving on over to the sort of cloud areas. And again, drawing some of the clouds and trees and things like that, sometimes it's just acting like you've had a bunch of caffeine and just kind of letting things kind of shake away a little bit. Kind of get those organic shapes going. Try not to make them look too constrained. All right, go ahead and grab the leaves. Get those cleaned up a little bit. All right, so I'm usually all about putting, something that might do some foreground stuff. All right, now go for the post. We can grab those pieces of fencing that were back there. All right, but on the tops of these, we have to grab the snow and try to make it look like it's kind of just hanging out. So, the snow on top of the fence should look like it's almost ready just to fall off because it's all piled up right there on a very narrow edge. All right. All right, so that little bit's done, and come back down to this side and grab that. All right, same thing for coming over to this side and just keep kind of going across. You just have to make sure to remember to stop when you get to your other elements that you're kind of crossing over and kind of determine what part's going to be in the front and what part's going to be in the back, so you don't draw through your elements. All right, and then we get parts of this post in. All right, show the kind of snow and stuff kind of piled around it a little bit. There's this other little snowball that was kind of started. All right, get the shovel. And then the beach pill that's been acquired for the Snowman building. All right. And then go ahead and grab some of the lines here. We've got little swirls, kind of like the wind kind of blowing through. All right, so this is our snowman now with ink put in. And so you could go further with this and continue to use pen and ink techniques and kind of make things look a little bit more contrast going with textures and things. Or at this point, you could actually put color onto it with color pencils or watercolor. If you're going to use watercolor, you would have to make sure that your ink is permanent. And so, but one thing before any of that, you would need to go through and, like I'm going to do here, and just start doing a general cleanup of all of the line work so that we kind of make this a nice clean illustration. This is a piece of work that could now be reused if you want to make your own coloring book, or like I said, just go ahead and go through and start rendering color onto it to get it more formal and things like that, or do some of the pen and ink textures and stuff that maybe you would prefer to do that just black and white with pen and ink. So either way, this is the completed snowman line work, and hopefully you've enjoyed this process and think of some more ideas and some more settings to put your snowman into. All right, thank you for watching